What's good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And this one, I'm going to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, the QQ, and many tickers out there. I'm going to talk about NEO, Nvda, and what's happening with the tickers, and some very, very big things that are going on right now. Now, before I break anything down with all this information, talk about the news for tomorrow and something you need to know, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice. And don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. The offer ends in just 3 days, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, so looking at SPY, this thing's on a very, very nice uptrend right now, looking very strong. And don't forget that SPY has this gap right over here all the way up to about this like 439 area. So we could see this thing could just continue to push to the upside. The next resistance to be looking for is going to be around this 437 area. We're getting very close to it. If we break above 436.64, that is, if we break above that, then we could get to 437. But for the time being, yes, the market's looking very strong, but I do have one little warning for you guys. Now, as the data came out, the data was looking very good for the morning. The consumer confidence report was stronger than expected. And other things are looking pretty decent on the house pricing sector, not to mention the home sales going up and things like that. So things are looking pretty decent so far, right? But here's the problem. Yes, the market's pumping and may continue to pump, sure. But I do have one warning, and that is we have Jerome Powell speaking tomorrow morning as soon as the market opens, okay, at 9:30 a.m., as soon as the market's open, Powell is going to be opening his mouth, okay? And when he speaks, the market tends to move. So just be a little careful. I'm not saying this has to cause the market to cool off. It could cause that. Really depends on what he says. He has been very hawkish lately, so just be careful. And I just want to warn you that if you're holding like, I don't know, SPY calls or QQQ calls or Coinbase calls or whatever, there's nothing wrong with securing some profits today. Not financial advice. I'm just saying this in general. That's what I did at these higher levels. I know there's potential for the market to make it to these high levels too, but how do we know if it's not going to retrace a bit first because of Powell and then push up? We have to be very careful just to be safe. All right, so that's just my warning for everyone because of Jerome Powell. But other than that, the technicals look very, very nice for the markets. And I do believe SPY is going to eventually push into the higher 430s, the much higher ones like 438 plus, get very close to 440 very soon. It could cool off because of Powell. I just don't know what he's going to say, but overall, it's still looking very nice for a potential squeeze. And the market's looking very, very beautiful. This is a very, very beautiful break of this falling wedge. We called this out in the morning and we got our confirmation. So I told you guys if we broke above 433, we held above that resistance, this thing had the potential to push up quite nicely. I told you that if we broke 435, it's going to likely fill this gap all the way up here and continue to push all the way up to like 436. We actually went above 436, so it's looking quite strong. And overall, the market is just continuing to squeeze. Now, Tesla, on the other hand, is looking strong too. But Tesla has even more opportunity, in my opinion. So the thing about Tesla is this thing is currently at about 249.8. It's testing 250, getting very close to it. This is what the falling wedge could look like on Tesla. You can see it got rejected here, pushed down, got a nice pump up, got rejected off here again, it came down, and now we're just testing it once again. But here's the thing. When you zoom in, the resistance is at 250. Okay, we broke 247. That's a bullish signal. We got the first one. Second one is 250. Break 250, hold above that. Tesla's going to look very, very nice. But once again, on those options, be careful. If we cool off because of Powell, just be prepared for that. But even if that happens, even if the Powell slows the market down a bit, I'm not worried whatsoever about Tesla. I think Tesla, if it gets that break, it's going to look very nice. And I think Tesla will eventually break this falling wedge anyways. I think it's very close to doing so, and I think Tesla has a lot of strength. I think as we approach Tesla's deliveries, okay, deliveries are going to be coming out over the weekend. I think Tesla's going to squeeze and it's going to rally very hard by the time we get to Friday before the market closes on Friday. I think Tesla's going to be running very hard. I think it has a lot of potential. I'm quite confident it's going to make a very nice move. It also formed a nice inverse head and shoulder structure right here. It's a little hard to see, so I'm going to pull it up on this chart. Now, this chart, when I pull up the lines, I have like a lot more trend lines, a lot more support and resistance levels because I use this one for scalping. When you look at Tesla, it's now testing the 50 EMA as resistance, this 250 area. We have this nice inverse head and shoulder structure. It's trying to push up. It looks very, very nice. The 1 hour is looking bullish. 4 hours also curling into the bullish side, getting very, very close to a bullish cross. It looks very, very nice. Could Powell slow this down tomorrow? Maybe he may. I just don't know what he's going to say, so just be careful. If you're not comfortable with holding options through Powell's speech, that's up to you to decide if you want to do it or not. Just be aware that maybe he slows us down a little bit, maybe he doesn't. But even if that happens, I still think Tesla has a lot of upside coming for the remainder of the week. I believe by Thursday and Friday specifically, we're going to see a lot of upside for Tesla. That's just my opinion. Uh, Now, on top of that, it's looking quite nice. So we're just going to be watching once again 250 as resistance. Now, to bring back some drawings, I have a bunch of them. 250 is going to be resistance. If Tesla breaks above that, watch 252.5. Then the mid 250s after that. So 254.25 to 255. Then 257, followed by 260 could come pretty quickly. These are all resistance levels to watch further on the minor chart. And then if it breaks 260, Tesla could just continue to fly. If it breaks down again, the major support holding it up is 247. That's where we had our neckline. So watch that as support. Then we have the 246 area, 244, the entire zone right there, followed by 242.5, then 240 as support. So watch those very carefully. On SPY, I forgot to call out these levels. We're testing the chop zone I've been talking about in the past, the 436.26 to 436.64 area. So watch that very carefully. If we manage to hold above those levels and we continue to break out, that's going to be a very, very good sign for the market moving forward. I would say that I'd be watching it potentially break 436.64. If it breaks and holds it, there's going to be some resistance at 437, and then after that comes 438, 439. The next major level is going to be 440, but the more important one is going to be 440. I think it has the potential to make its way all the way up closer to 440, maybe a little bit under. It may cool off first because of Powell, but later on I do see the market potentially doing that. But make sure you watch both support and resistance. For support, watch 435, 434.38, 434, and if all of those break, there's 433 followed by the 431s, which could come. Just to talk about a couple of them, AMD, it's approaching this 200 EMA around this 110 area. Break above this, and it could push and get closer to this like 115 area. If it rejects off this, it could cool off back down to 107 as the major support. So watch it carefully. It does look quite strong. NEO had some unexpected news that came out that turned this thing bullish. It's approaching resistance at 9.5. Very nice move by NEO. It's up almost 10%. You're going to be watching this 9.5 zone. If it breaks above that, it could get a lot closer to like $10. If it breaks down, you're going to be watching support at like 9.2, 8.95, 8.8, and etc. For the triple Q, our friend the triple Q, if this thing starts pushing up more, you're going to be watching this resistance right here. We have some resistance at 364.69, and then after that, it has potential to push all the way up to 366 if it breaks above that. If it breaks down, watch 363, that entire zone as support, 362, 361.7, followed by 360. So watch those levels very carefully. Nasdaq is green, SPX is green, futures are looking nice too. The dollar is down a bit, which is now acting like normal. And Coinbase got the bullish break I was talking about. If it broke 66, this thing's going to fly to at least 70 to 71.8. I think that's the next level. 71.8 is going to be the next major resistance after like 70. It has a lot of potential to push up. It looks bullish. It looks very, very strong. It looks very nice. We're going to be watching this 70 area. And it could get very close to 71.8 to 72 afterwards if it does continue to break out. But if anything, it's looking quite nice. Got the bullish confirmation already. Powell could be the only thing that slows this down a little bit, but other than that, it's looking very strong. I really like the setup on it. Apple's making, I believe, a new all-time high on Aapl. I think we're very close to it. If not, we already did it. That's another all-time high. We're going to be watching this thing test. I was watching this like potentially 188.5 to 190 area next. If Aapl continues to break out, looking strong, very beautiful from Aapl, looking very, very nice. And if it slows down, watch 187.5 and potentially 186.5 as support. Nvda continuing to break out. We called this out in the morning. If 400 held, we could see this thing test our 50 EMA. If it broke above 410, watch this thing get closer to about 416 to 417. If that broke, watch 421, followed by, after that comes this like 426 area around there. Then comes 430, then comes 435. So watch all these carefully. Nvidia came down hard, now it's trying to rebound. If it breaks down, watch the 410 zone as support, followed by 405 and then 401 to 400 flat. So far, it's looking quite nice, so watch this very carefully. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon's looking quite nice. We got a bullish cross on the PPO. If this thing continues to break out, you're going to be watching this 130 to 131 area. Yet if it gets above that, we have another area right here at this 132.5 zone. So right about here, if it breaks above that, watch 135. If it breaks down though, so what I mentioned yesterday was Amazon would likely test this 50 or get very close to it. We actually didn't touch it, but we came very close to it. We bounced off of it, which is a very, very good sign. So there was no confirmation for the bears. It continued to break out, looking quite nice. And Meta is in a very critical state, okay? Meta got a nice bounce. It broke above the 50 EMA. But there's one problem. It's going to be testing some major resistance at 290. If it breaks 290, this thing is going to go flying. Okay, it has the potential to make it all the way up to get closer to almost 300 if it breaks 290. That's a very strong resistance zone. We are a little short right now, but it's getting close, so watch that carefully. If it breaks below these levels, watch 287 point. Did I say 190? I meant 290 is going to be resistance. 287.5 is going to be our support. Below that comes 285. 282.5, 279, then comes 277 and 276 as supports. I think it's looking strong. It may cool off because of Powell. I don't know what he's going to cause, but if it breaks 290, this thing is going to go flying into like the higher 290s pretty quickly. It has a lot of potential, looking quite nice. Anyways, that's what I have for this video. Sorry if this was a little long. That's your intraday update. I will see you guys later on for my final video of the day. And until then, thank you for listening. Have a great trading day, everyone. I want the best for everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Market to the moon is long term is very bright, and peace out.